Okay, we will now discuss some Doppler techniques, and for case 3 we will demonstrate some incorrect Doppler, specifically baseline placement, scale, and correct caliper measurement placement. In this image, if you look up at the 2D color flow image, we'll see that this is actually a 4-chamber view, mitral valve, pulse wave, attempting to measure mitral valve inflow. And the baseline is at the top of the screen, forcing the inflow to alias to the bottom of the screen. You do not want to measure the alias image. The corrective action would be to lower the baseline, which would allow the mitral flow to be above the baseline where it belongs, and then to correctly measure the E and A. Also of interest to note, with this equipment, this is one of those machines that force you to drop your horizontal line first and then to place your crosshair. And we can see that this user dropped the horizontal line but did not reposition the crosshair to what they were actually measuring. So you just have a caliper floating in the screen. It's very unclear as to specifically what's being measured. So the corrective action would be to move the crosshair to show exactly what you're measuring. And some more images, same patient, same user, would be a pulse wave of the LVOT, and it's very unclear what's being measured because of this A caliper at the bottom of the screen. So how would we fix this image? Well, first of all, if we were to change the scale, decrease the scale, allowing the mitral valve inflow to not alias to the bottom of the screen, it would be more clear that the inflow is above the baseline, your V1 velocity is below the baseline where it belongs, and that would help to identify that it was actually the V1 the user was attempting to measure. Again, the crosshair needs to be placed exactly where you're measuring so you know what you're pointing at. And also, if you're getting that much mitral valve inflow in your V1 measurement, you may choose to go ahead and unfreeze your image, realign your Doppler, and try and get a more clear V1 measurement. Same patient, same user. We now see they've moved on to tricuspid valve, and again, baseline's been brought back up to the top. They're trying to show tricuspid regurg. That is not a reason to bring your baseline to the top. You're going to lower the baseline, always allow the inflow to be above the baseline, the regurgitation below the baseline. Change your scale if you need to fit everything on. And again, this A is floating in the screen. It's unclear what's being measured. There's a spike here. Are they measuring the spike? No, they were measuring tricuspid regurgitation. This was actually their TR max, and the crosshair needs to be moved over. And this is just another illustration of the same attempt at a TR measurement with aliasing inflow, which is confusing the interpreting physician as to what is being measured. I will show you one more patient. This is a different patient, but it's the same facility that were making the same mistakes, which luckily we did correct. This is supposed to be continuous wave of the aortic valve. The main issue with this image, again, is the floating caliper that's not correctly placed under the point that you are measuring. And also, just looking at the quality of the image, you cannot even see where you are. So it was a very poor suboptimal image, and the image itself should probably have been corrected and tweaked before placing Doppler. And then again, this is the V1 LVOT. The Doppler looks pretty, but the caliper is floating, not placed in the correct location. And again, the image is very unclear as to exactly where you are. Is this a 4-chamber, a 2-chamber, a 3-chamber? What's going on? So again, recommendation would be clean up your 2D color image prior to placing Doppler and make sure that your crosshair is in the correct location. The next video will actually show some beautiful Doppler, correct Doppler techniques. Thank you.